managing engagement with interpersonal skills. After completing this topic, you should be able to recognize the interpersonal and team skills that you can use for managing stakeholder engagement. The managed stakeholder engagement process is performed using 5 different tools and techniques: expert judgment, communication skills, interpersonal and team skills, ground rules, and meetings. In this topic, we are going to focus on the interpersonal and team skills that you can use to manage stakeholder engagement. Interpersonal skills are essential to a project manager's ability to communicate effectively with stakeholders and develop and facilitate productive stakeholder relationships. Interpersonal skills are goal-directed behaviors used in personal interactions. They are sometimes called people skills because they involve direct communication with other people. We are going to talk about 5 specific interpersonal and team skills that you use to manage stakeholder engagement. The first one is conflict management. When working on a project with stakeholders from many different backgrounds, experience, and areas, the ability to resolve conflicts both between yourself and someone else and also between other parties is critical. Resolving conflicts. Sometimes stakeholders have demands or disagreements about how the project should unfold. Resolving conflict means being able to judge when to cooperate, when to collaborate, and when to compromise. Cooperation involves helping stakeholders understand what you need and trying to understand what they need. Collaboration involves working together to develop options and alternatives to reach a mutually satisfactory outcome. Compromise involves giving up or changing some aspect of your approach in exchange for cooperation and acceptance from the stakeholder. One of your key roles as a project manager is to resolve conflict in a timely manner so that stakeholders remain engaged and productive. Trust. Building and maintaining trust is important at all levels of a project. But trust is earned over time. So it's important to be consistent and fair whenever you engage your stakeholders. Building trust means creating a stakeholder relationship where both parties believe that the other will act in their mutual best interest. To develop a trust-based relationship, it is important to follow through on your commitments and to be sure not to make promises that you can't keep. Negotiation is another interpersonal and team skill that you use for managing stakeholder engagement. Negotiation skills. Not every stakeholder will agree with you all the time. Throughout the project life cycle, situations will occur that require you to use negotiation skills to keep the project on track and ensure stakeholders remain committed and engaged to the project, even if they don't necessarily see eye to eye with you or other stakeholders. Negotiation is a skill of conferring with stakeholders who have uncommitted or opposed interest to yours or others, with a view to compromising or reaching an agreement about an issue. Negotiation is a key skill because of the power balance between you and your stakeholders. When stakeholders have high power and influence, it is not effective for you to dictate your wishes to them. They need to be included in the process. There are a number of useful techniques for negotiating with stakeholders. Differentiate between wants and needs, yours and stakeholders. Focus on the best interest of the project. Listen carefully and articulate your position clearly. Present changes as something of value and make sure stakeholders are satisfied they are not being taken advantage of. Besides conflict management and negotiation, there are 3 other common interpersonal and team skills that you can use for managing stakeholder engagement: cultural awareness, observation and conversation, and political awareness. Cultural awareness involves considering cultural differences and requirements that may exist with stakeholders. For example, your communications methods may need to be tailored to suit stakeholders. Observation and conversation is useful for staying in touch with project team members and stakeholders about work and attitudes towards the project. And political awareness means understanding power relationships and how they may affect the project and engagement of stakeholders. For example, let's say that you have a stakeholder with great power and influence in the community. As project manager, you will need to operate with this knowledge and maintain the balance of keeping the stakeholder engaged, while also acting in the best interest of your project and demonstrating strong ethics in any decisions that you make.